Okay, y'all, we gotta talk about it. I'm gonna try to make this very fast because what can I say about Raw? Like I said, I did not watch Raw fully. I let it come on and then I watched that mug later. Like, I let it had like an hour ahead so I could jump through all of those commercials. I think that's the best thing about Raw being on Netflix. You can jump through those commercials. You ain't got to sit there and watch them commercials, a million commercials and stuff. I'm trying to think. Do I want to do this segment by segment? I really don't want to do this segment by segment. I guess that's the way I can kind of, I guess, put the pictures in there or whatever. So you had Logan Paul, Austin Theory. They defeated the Usos with disqualification in a non-title match. Wow, whatever. Now, the biggest thing people are going to try to say is the Obafemi and Brock Lesnar thing. You know, Brock Lesnar is putting over Obafemi. At WrestleMania, Brock might win. This is really hard because Brock might want Obafemi to have this WrestleMania-esque moment, but I think it's too early. I think Brock's going over and Obafemi might get the win at a pay-per-view down the line. Hopefully this turns into an actual big feud. I want this to turn into a big feud, you know. But, you know, Brock is older. I don't think he can do Hell in the Cells and all of that. I mean, he did the War Games, but War Games is trash. They ain't doing that much in War Games. Next, like I say, the rest of this show was garbage. You know, AJ Lee challenges Becky Lynch to a match. Didn't they fight like 5 times already? Why is this WrestleMania worthy? It's not WrestleMania worthy. No one cares about AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is good on the mic, I guess, but trash. Javon Evans and Grayson Waller. You know, okay, Javon Evans can do high fly moves. You know, I guess kids like that stuff. So, I mean, it's not like we have Penta, not like we have Dragon Lee. You know, I personally like American Made. Those guys are like Brock Lesnar sides, and they're doing high fly moves and stuff. I don't even know where they're at. They're the best athletes on Raw, including the Chad Gable and Ivy Niles. Best wrestlers on the show, and they get no screen time. And they making Ivy Niles a jobber, and Chad Gable is OG Americano. That's a damn shame, Triple H. Then Seth Rollins gets arrested. Wow. That's amazing. Seth Rollins got arrested. That is amazing. That is 10 out of 10 TV. You know, Seth Rollins gets arrested. Great. Bayley and Lyra defeat the Kabuki Warriors. This is like the 100th time. That's the 120 millionth time Lyra and Bayley fought the Kabuki Warriors. 100. And it's, you know, I don't want Asuka and Kari to break up, but, you know, it just give us damage control back. That's what we want. Just give us damage control. But I don't think we're going to get that. Then Stephanie Vaquer ambushes Liv Morgan. It is wild that no one cares about this. We don't care. Like, for some reason, we don't care about Stephanie and Liv. Honestly, did they pull the trigger on Stephanie and Julia too early? You know, I don't think they pulled it too early. I just think they have trash booking. You know, Stephanie was a hot topic last year. #1 rising star. Julia was putting on great matches with Stephanie. And instead of taking their feud to the main roster, they just separated them, gave Julia a title with no story, gave Stephanie the title, and then did nothing with her at all. Like, she could have had a great feud with Raquel. And, you know, they sort of did. They've had some great matches, but I mean, they don't take anything further. Then you had Dominic lose to Penta. Finn Balor interfered. Finn came, interfered. Finn changed his music. Kind of still got the same theme looking gimmick or whatever. But he walked down on Dominic. Walked down on JD. You know, of course, Dominic ran, blah, blah, blah. You know, last you got Roman and CM Punk, but really it was the Usos and CM Punk. CM Punk still on his kind of disrespectful stuff. Roman comes out, you know, and he disses the Usos like, hey, don't y'all have a tag team title shot? Get out of my ring. And then Jay sneak punches. Really, I ain't gonna say a sneak punch. He ran straight up to CM Punk, got dropped. Roman like, get out the ring. You know, he Superman punched Punk and all that. And then Jay like, bruh, like, you gotta punish Punk. Like, you know, you gotta smash him. Like, you gotta, you know, do this for the family or whatever. Like, you the tribal chief. Bucked his head up. And then Roman smashed CM Punk, put him through a table. And I'm sick of these table spots. Like, I am sick of these table spots at this point. Like we got to do better and get some better spots. Like, why is this announcer table spot being used all the time? Like, at one point, they was breaking through the barricade every single Raw, every single SmackDown, purposely diluting the spot. Now you're going through the announce table over and over and over again. Like, Roman, why couldn't you, you know, is that table spot is being overused. Why can't Roman, you know, hit the power bomb on the steel steps? Or maybe take this up top, you know, hit the power bomb on the ramp. Hit the power bomb into the Titantron. Hit the power bomb off the stage. But y'all don't have a stage. You know, like, do something backstage. Like, go through some glass. Go through a car. Like, not go through a car, but like power bomb on the roof. Like, the Attitude Era had all of these spots. You know, Triple H is a part of the Attitude Era. Like, I don't understand why we're just going through the announcer's table 3 times a day. Every week. Like, oh, this is a hardcore spot. Like, Roman, you can get a table from underneath the ring. There's other weapons. Like, I don't understand this booking, this creative. And it's being done on purpose. And everyone should boycott and not spend money with this company. But essentially, I think that's what they want. They want you not to spend money so the company can fail and Vince McMahon can buy back fully at a lower price. This is what it has to be, but the fans are so brain dead They're spending 35 grand on tickets again still. You know, they're still spending buku money at WrestleMania. They're still buying all of these back access passes. Roman put Punk through a table and the fans are chanting one more time. Like, that's how dumb these fans are. You know, they're giving you the worst stories. They're giving you the worst booking. They're giving you the worst game that you can possibly play. Online doesn't even work. Even the video game storyline sucks. And it's a waste of time. You know, they're giving y'all the worst of the worst. And yet you're spending 100 times more money. Like, how are they getting away with this? And it's the fans. You went from paying like $600, $800 for front row tickets to see WrestleMania to paying 35 grand, 12 grand, 10 grand. You know, I wouldn't even be surprised if, 5 grand was like the max. You know, if you wanted to be exclusive and pay 5 grand for front row seats for WrestleMania night 1 and 2 combined, that would be something. But when you're dropping 35, 15, 10 grand on one ticket, that is absolutely ridiculous. And even these pay-per-views, these throwaway garbage pay-per-views, they still buying these enormous ticket prices, which is mind-blowing. It's just ridiculous. When and WWE's looking like, oh my goodness, this plan is backfiring. We need to get even garbager. So they're giving you the trash of the trash, and y'all love it. But like, comment, subscribe, stop watching this garbage show.